Morning, hope you're doing really well. So today I'm taking you to a very special set of chalk caves. Now stay with me, I'll explain the history on the other side because you're going to really love these and there's a lot more information to go. I'm going to lose my voice, so let's get on with this. See you on the other side. Hello, so we're here. Now I want to just give you a brief bit of history. Obviously these are very special caves and I ask obviously the express permission of the landowner if it was possible that I could explore these, and they've been so welcoming and so kind, and I know you're watching, so thank you so much for that. Obviously I won't be giving away the location of these for obviously the fact that I don't want them to be harassed by members of the public. I don't think they're going to want to need it at the moment. But the history is really interesting. Now, the local rumour to begin with was that they were smugglers' caves or tunnels, although they're really a set of 4 chalk caves, which probably would be used for chalk extraction again for agricultural use. What makes these very special, however, is that there always seems to be with caves a sort of World War connection. And in these ones especially, there seems to be a World War I ammunition storage connection to do with some of the coastal batteries that are around here. Now obviously, without giving away the location, I can say that we are by the Kent coast. Obviously to tie in with the coastal batteries that were situated around here. So as I always say in my videos, please be respectful of not giving away that. Obviously you understand I don't give away the location of this place, and not only that please respect that. I'd be really grateful if you do know this place, if you do know it, because I did speak to, like I said, I spoke to the owner and they did say they've had a few visitors, but nobody's ever, from what they know, has ever filmed this before. So this is technically an exclusive, technically, from what I know. That please be respectful. Obviously, if you know the location, just keep it to yourself. Like I said, just for everybody's sake, do you know what I mean? Obviously, these people live here. They don't want to be constantly harassed by people. Not saying that any of you will, because I love all of you out there and I know you're really great. So let's just enjoy it for what it is and we'll go from there. Now, 2 things to note. There's 4 caves. Nothing that we haven't seen on this channel before. They're not the biggest caves ever, either. But 2 of them have got asbestos tiling in them, and they're the last 2 from this side. So it's well vent aerated, but I've still got my mask with me because asbestos is asbestos, and luckily on this instance, you know, the owner did say that there's chance of asbestos. I've already checked out the cave, so I know what to expect. I've seen it in there. And you'll see it as well. So without further ado, let's actually just get in there, more importantly, shall we? Come on then. Right, so this is the first cave, or the cave furthest to the left. Like I said, there's only 4, and they're not that big. But you can imagine, it's not hard to imagine that these probably had dual purpose as ammunition as well, just for basic ammunition storage for the coastal batteries. Now they're in relatively good condition, and there's no sign from what I saw of major erosion, which is fantastic. So probably where they're situated has actually done them a bit of a favour. You can see that there's some green mould, which you normally sort of see really. Again, this isn't uncommon. And you can see the flints that are embedded in this wonderful chalk. What is amazing, you can see these little recesses that we always sort of would assume. It's very difficult to sort of put a lantern on it, but you can imagine that, again, these might have been used for some form of candlelight potentially. Obviously not whilst it was an ammunition store. That would have been rather dangerous. And they're relatively clean. I mean, the owner hang on. Sorry about that. The owner actually admitted that they've not actually properly been in them because it's a bit scary for them, which I can understand. Obviously, any sort of caves can be scary to certain people, so I totally respect that. But it's for historical purposes, absolutely fantastic. And like I said, I'm so humbled and grateful that they've allowed me to do this. What you can also see, especially in this first cave, is you can see the cut marks very clearly to make this oval shaped pattern. They almost look like those industrial tram tunnels that we've seen so often, of how clean that oval arch is. Absolutely incredible. Luckily, I don't actually need that much torchlight to illuminate these, which makes it even better than that. But as you can see, so now as we come out, obviously the light catches it. You've got like a, what's really strange, I often wonder why they would do this, but there's a little recess here that links onto the second cave. And, well, that's our next one to go, so let's do it. Right, so welcome to cave number 2, which is just as shallow as the other cave. The length's practically the same. I'm also trying to make notes on this one as well. There's our little strange recess that links both the caves together. And as we look, we can see again, this is in incredibly good condition. I am absolutely amazed by this. It looks like it's slightly shallower, and again you can see some of these strange little sort of recesses here again that maybe at some point might have had history with the mine itself rather than the World War I ammunition. As I said, there was rumours of them being smugglers' caves, although that rumour apparently has been quashed. Love that word, quashed. But here we are. Again, perfectly rounded. Absolutely amazing. I wonder if that was in World War I, they've maybe made these a little bit neater, just so they could potentially store the ammunition in here. But again, these tiny, tiny little recesses. There's a, like a jack there, isn't there, I think, from what I can see. There's not actually much on the floor. Normally we look at the floor to sort of see if there's any sort of helpings of working or anything, but there really isn't on these. Except, like I said, for the last two that's got asbestos tiling in it. I don't want to shine the light, obviously, too much in here. That is amazing. Now, I noticed that in here. Now, that, everybody, might be one of the most amazing bits of history you're going to find in this cave. And I'm not going to touch it, but can you see there's a bit of wood? And it is firmly... let's try and get underneath. There you go. It's firmly embedded into that. Can you see the square peg at the back? Now, that would indicate to me that there might have been, I'm trying to look, might have been something that went across here, like a beam or something, because that is, it's there, it's in the centre there, and it's going across. Now, maybe that could have linked up one of these recesses, but that bit of wood there is absolutely incredible. It's amazing how people, you know, some people wouldn't even see stuff like that, but look at how square and perfectly cut that is. And again, as we look out, we didn't actually look out in the other one. Sorry about that. Not the biggest caves you'll ever be in, like I said before, but however, still amazingly important on a historical scale of things. Tiny little, again, recesses within the bottom of the cave, which might reduce its stability over time. You can see again there's another little one there. That's interesting. That's like a little sort of burrow tunnel almost in itself. I wonder, I'll take you down. See if we can. Not sure if we can pick anything up from that, but look at that. Absolutely incredibly beautiful. Another cave. Amazing. Truly amazing. Right, on to cave number 3, which is where we're going to start hitting the asbestos tiling. So I'm going to put a mask on. So let's go and have a look. Okay, so we're at the third cave now. Better to be safe than sorry, I always say, when it comes to sort of asbestos. There is definitely some asbestos tiling on the floor. So like I said, on this one and the next one. So it's better to be safe just to wear a mask, even though really, you know, we're quite open. But when given the option, it is better to be safe. So this is cave number 3, which is definitely a lot shallower roof height wise, as you can see. And again, strange type of little recesses here. They seem to be dotted with them on these caves. I don't think I've ever seen as many recesses. It's almost like they, at one point, you'd think, especially with the deeper ones here, it's almost like they might have been considering trying to link the caves up. Because we do see that with some of our caves, is that we do see sort of, sometimes you'll see a little recess like that that potentially would have joined up to the next one. But, you know, it's still very interesting. This is extremely low now. So, as you can see, I am about 5'10", 5'11", and I'm now having to duck, getting into the lower bit. Fortunately, there's what I was mentioning. So we don't want to get too close to that anyway. Like I always say, it's better just to be safe than sorry. But yeah, there we go. Are there any cave spiders here? There are, but they've unfortunately passed away. Loads up on this one, loads of webs. In fact, like I said, the other 2 caves were relatively clean. But yeah, there's a bit of debris. But I doubt that, from what I was looking at, nothing to sort of give it any purposeful date or meaningful date on anything. Just a typical sort of litter that sometimes people just put in. And there's no sort of interesting wooden posts either. Like I said, this one's strange because there's no actual sort of like anything to, it's very green, as you can tell. There's a little recess over there, but apart from that, nothing else. And then a little bulb of sort of erosion there. Hard to tell really on this camera. Incredible nonetheless. Reversing outwards. But with the lack of what this gives you, it's when you walk outside on this one, it gives you this amazing, beautiful sort of overgrown look to it, which is absolutely amazing. Little tree there as well. So, our final one, number 4. So let's go explore it. Right, the final one, which again has got some asbestos in here as well. And it's amazing how, even though these caves are next to each other, they are completely different from one another. And you can see within this one, this has got a little junction point almost. And it's the only one that has it. And it's what I was mentioning with the other three, that it almost looks like at some point they were trying to do similar on those, and for whatever reason it never worked. There's a lot of gardening material here, bit of tunnelling. Like I said, I don't want to go too far in. There's some chicken wire. Somebody's had a interesting time down on this one. There's some pipe there, it looks like. Almost looks like that's some sort of form of vent pipe. There's like a little... That's interesting, that. But again, it's very, very shallow. I'm having to obviously duck down quite significantly. Again, not really any sort of anything to report necessarily that's interesting on the floor, except for what was in there. And again with this one, sort of little chalk cutting, or whatever we'll call them for the moment. Incredible. But again, what I love about this one, you don't see this, well, I haven't seen this normally in caves. It's so sort of perfectly rounded. I think it might actually be out of all the caves that I've explored, this set seems to be the most sort of well constructed in terms of its sort of roofing. And that is really interesting to me. Normally you'd find this within like I said, like a tram system where they'd round it off and then probably put bricks in to shore it up. Same thing as you'd find with maybe a World War II air raid shelter. In terms of what they'd do is they'd round it off and then obviously put the bricks and the concrete up to sort of support the roof. We've seen that again in previous cave videos in Kent and all around. It's not uncommon. Just on this one, it's almost like they wanted to try and do something more with this. And that's the sort of feeling that I'm getting from this one. These set of caves, although, like I said, the rumours of them being smugglers' caves, obviously apparently not true. And the reports that we have were potential, I think, World War I ammunition stores of the coastal battery. Apart from that, there really isn't anything else. But still, that's what makes it surely the more incredible sort of thing to sort of see, really. But that's it. I mean, it's so clean. It's such a surprise to me. When I came in here, just to sort of scout them out to obviously check for where this asbestos was, I was absolutely amazed at how clean they were, how well-rounded they were. And that was the first thing that struck me. I was like, okay, this is interesting, because it doesn't look it from the outside. There you go. Our 4 caves hidden. Absolutely brilliant. Right, let's get out of here then. Right, so there you have it. These incredible caves that had got packed full of history and just the most unusual caves. Now, some of you might not think that, but considering the amount of caves I have explored throughout the years, I can safely say that these caves clearly must have been built for potentially something more. Absolutely amazing. Thank you so much to the owners. I'm sure you are watching. Love and kindness to all of you out there. As I said, please respect the fact of me keeping this location secret. But thank you so much for your love, your kindness and your support. Feel free to spread the word of the channel. Much love to all of you out there. As I said before to you all, if it wasn't for all of you out there encouraging me to keep going, then this is it, isn't it? We find these hidden secrets in Kent. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Any more words of Phoenix history, because history matters, and I will see y'all very soon. Take care. Love to all of you out there. Kapow.